Alright, good afternoon folks, how's it going? I want to do a review on these boots. The Dakota Men's 8901 Hyper Dri 3 work boots. So, I've had these for a year now, and I've had these in every condition you can imagine. So I've got a lot to say about them. The vast majority of it's quite positive. I haven't been able to find boots that have lasted the break-in period. That is to say that they are broken in completely and fully before some part of the boot has failed. It's been really aggravating, and that's gone all the way up to, like, you know, a few $100s for boots and whatnot, and still the same problem. So last year I was quite desperate for a decent pair of boots, and these were the only kind of higher end looking boots, besides mountaineering stuff. In my town in Canmore here, there's a real problem with availability with some stuff. I promise you I could go down the street on Main there and pick up the latest climber's gadget or gizmo or something, and but I mean, I have been searching for months for a piece of plastic sheet, or plastic molding or something for my boat. It's so anyways, I went to Canadian Tire in Marks there, and this is what seemed to be the best option. Now these boots, I can't touch them too much because I just applied some RTV to the stitching, so I'm just going to put them down here on my bumper. I'll put one of them down here on my bumper for after. So go over, I guess, from the outside first here. Start from the bottom. So these have the tarantula grip, I believe it's called. I think so. Yeah, tarantula rubber, and basically what that is like rubber with little bits of glass impregnated into it. The rubber itself is quite thick. It has about the consistency of car mounts, like car engine mounts or body mounts even maybe. Or in some places, actually, I've never noticed that before, it's like a bubble there. Neat. Huh. Up here it's like rigid like crazy. But anyways, it's a really rigid rubber, and it works well for a lot of different conditions. The grip is fairly decent, but what I find is when you're somewhere around the 0 to -10 range, when things are just starting to freeze up, it has a problem. And I'm not exactly sure what the problem is, but basically you lose grip from about 0 to -10, and then you get it back once things are like solid frozen. It's weird, it's aggravating. What I do if I'm in situations is I just stomp down and I use the rigidity of the boot to create a little ridge line, as if you were climbing an ice shelf or something like that. And that seems to work fairly well. But if you're not thinking about it, I've gone down with these boots a couple times, so you got to be careful about that. Aside from that, the grip is decent in pretty much all conditions. And I mean, I've had it everywhere from in rivers, like in the river or creek, to up the mountains and whatnot. And I've put a year of use on these. I don't wear them in the summer so much, but pretty much unless the weather is good enough for t-shirt weather, I'll probably throw these on if things are not nice outside, or if I've got like heavy stuff to do. Now I actually try to avoid working too much in these, because sometimes when I'm working I'm throwing sparks or welding or this or that, and I don't want to do that to these. These are for my outdoor adventures pretty much. Okay, so that's the bottom. Now these are a composite toe and shank, meaning that it's not steel, but it's I guess rated by the CSA guys or whatever. I thought it was something else that did that, but anyways, so it's got the green stamp and tag or whatever. So it's a composite, so it's a little bit lighter than if it was a big boot like this with the steel toes. And I've had a lot of steel toes. I haven't had too many composites. I think I've had a couple, but I find that the composite doesn't seem to be as cold as steel. I don't know if that's just my system's better now for my feet, but the composite seems to retain a little bit of heat or something, which is nice. It doesn't seem like, it's kind of hard to tell because these are stiff boots. You do get some flex to them, but it doesn't seem to change too much with the temperatures, as you would expect with some sort of composite. Okay, so we've got some grip here in the back, which is fairly decent. I mean, I've been in some awkward positions with these and been able to hold on. So it's nice nice that it's got grip coming all the way up the back and kind of all the way up the front here too. Super happy day again. And then these caps are, I wouldn't say bomb-proof, but they're pretty tough. On this one here, I've got a nasty cut, and I think that's actually from an axe. I can't remember, but I think it's from an axe, and it was like a pretty sharp axe too. So the caps there, like the protective caps, are pretty nice. They call it the Duratome, or maybe that's the name of the thing inside, I'm not sure. But anyways, the and the back as well, when you're taking the boots off, these are really handy. Helps a lot. And actually these seem to fit these really well, so your first boot comes off super easy, and then your second boot's a little tougher. Okay, well, so we'll go up. Oh, I missed a spot with the RTV here. We'll go up to the leather on them. So these boots took about 3 months to break in, wearing every single day, and for the first, I'd say, month or so, I could not lace them up. I mean, I tried lacing them up once, and I got about half a block, and you know, I'm not a wimp, but I was almost crying. It was so painful. This has got to be some of the stiffest boot leather I've ever come across. And once you get through that break-in period, you really appreciate that. Or I do, anyways. So I've got battery issues, and I can't make this video too long, or it will definitely cut off and I'll be totally wasted. It doesn't even save it. Battery's getting so bad. These are marked as waterproof, and yeah, they are very waterproof. Now, I do add this RTV, but that's not for waterproofing. If you look at my other video, that's just to protect the seams. The seams, the stitching is actually really good too. For the most part, it's inset, but not all of it is. And it's not that consistent on its inset, so there's a little bit of improvement to be had there. But with the RTV hack, I get around that pretty easy. Just wiping little chunks off onto my bumper here. Now one thing it's nice, but long term I know it's going to be a problem. This is not leather, and this is not leather, and as you can see here, it's degrading actually rather quickly. I might try and hit that with Flex Seal. It seems like it would work. I don't know what else to say. But I think that degrades when I clean it. I use the, I can't remember what it's called. Jesus. Saddle spray, which is a slightly acidic thing. But that could also be from cuff rub, like my pant cuffs or whatever, boot, or pant legs, whatever, rubbing on the rim of the boot. I'm really not too sure, but it definitely does degrade. I also put these out fairly often in the sun to dry out, air out. So they need to have, in my opinion, they need to have some sort of a UV protecting feature to this. As long as it doesn't break, like the fabric doesn't fail on me, I should be okay with the rubber stuff. But as you noticed, I didn't even put the seam or the RTV in on there on these stitches, because I didn't know how the RTV would interact with this, what they would call pleather, plastic leather, vinyl leather or something. I don't like having this on here just because I just don't like having extra anything that I don't need on the boot. I may have actually cut off some stuff. I usually do, maybe not. So this upper here is leather, which is nice, I guess. And the you know how like along your tongue here you've got leather interwoven into the side of the boot, that actually goes up to about just under your second lace. So your waterproof is fairly high up your leg there. It's really nice. I'm surprised for just a leather boot, right? So getting into the inside, there are some issues. I got to be careful, this one's wet too. There are some issues. The fabric is a little bit soft. I don't know if we can see this, but I've got serious wear in a couple places. Shit, I just stuck my thumb right into right into the RTV. But anyways, yeah, so I've got some serious wear in a couple places on the rims and also down in the heel. It was straight out tearing, which I think might have some to do with the leggings I wear have a tiny little zipper on them. Never been a problem for any of my socks or any of my other gear, but For some reason, I think that might be what's causing that. So I've actually got tuck tape down in the heel. Just enough to cover the spot that was ripping, and it was in both sides, so I did it on both sides. That was a real pain in the ass to get in there nicely. It actually, you might think like it make your foot a little sweaty, and that might be true, I'm not sure, but insofar as like rub, blisters, and removal of the boot, it helps tremendously. I really like that. I might start doing that to all my boots. So that's the inside and out, I think. Oh yeah, right. So these actually, so here's a little bit of a caveat to this, all right? These boots, I think, are a size 9, maybe a size 8. It might be a size 8. I'm a size 10.5 to 11 at sometimes. Now I am wearing normal size 10.5 shoes here, and as you can see, the boots are bigger than the shoes. So the reason for that is that they are a size 8 or 9 or whatever, but they come with an insert, and I ditched the insert immediately. These were the only boots I could find, and I have my own kind of sock system, and when I went into the store, they didn't have my size with the insert, so I thought, well, what if I take the insert out? I mean, it's a fairly nice interior. You can wear these without socks pretty much, right? Like, it's a really nice interior, which is a bit of a problem, right? Because it wears out easier. But without the insert there, my foot, and with my sock system on, my foot fits perfectly. And then without my sock system on, like in warmer weather, I just actually use sole inserts. I have a bunch of different sole inserts that I use, and different thicknesses and for different applications, right? So yeah, basically these boots, I bought them 2 sizes smaller than I need, 2.5 sizes smaller than I need, something like that, and I junked the inserts right away. Now, you could keep those inserts. They will definitely keep you pretty warm, but what I didn't like about them is that they're that kind of space fabric stuff, like silver fabric stuff, and that's actually too much for me. I'll get hot spots with anything even resembling that. I mean, honestly, if they had boots with vents on them for winter, like, I would probably buy them. So I'm just a hot body kind of guy. Like, you ask anybody with that issue, it's a pain in the ass. You ask anybody's significant other with that issue, it's a pain in the ass, right? Because you're sleeping at night, and sometimes you'll be pouring out gallons of sweat, and the person next to you is also experiencing that heat and sweat. So anyways, I did not need that extra insert. You might want to go for it. But overall, I would give these like an 8 or a 9 out of 10, with really the only issues being that we need slightly tougher material in here, and in here some sort of a liner as well. I suppose in the future I could maybe put a little bit of Flex Seal on here. I'm just getting used to the product, so I don't know what it wears like and whatnot, but it could potentially be a solution. So I'm going to cut this out now. Thanks for watching. Like I said, 8 or 9 out of 10. If you want some seriously tough-ass boots, then get these. However, like I said, it did take me about 3 months for a full break-in. So, you know, be ready. Don't I actually bought these, and then like about a week later I had to buy another cheap pair of boots just to like break it up on my feet a little bit. So don't buy these if you have nothing else to wear it in, because that might be an issue for you. But if you can get something to just break up the wear on your feet a little bit, and I also use the oil stuff, I can't remember what it's called, to soften it a little bit, and I use polish on top of that to help with waterproofing a little bit, mink oil, and then polish over top of that. I'm not sure if doing that's proper, but it seems to work. I let the mink oil soak in a whole bunch. Okay, again, thanks for watching. You have any comments or tips? I want all your boot tips, and footwear tips in general. Then drop them down below, and we'll talk to you later.